Welcome to DocTalk with your host, Brent Leavitt. And DocTalk with Brent is sponsored by Battleborn Financial.
Hi, welcome to DocTalk. This is Brent Leavitt. I'm the owner and proprietor of Battleborn Financial Advisor and Health Insurance Brokerage here in Pahrump. And our series DocTalk has always been about interviewing doctors and physicians and getting to know primary care in Pahrump. Today, we're actually doing a little bit different segment. We're actually joined by somebody very awesome in our office, our brand new employee. Her name is Aubriana Moss. She is joining us today just to get to know and get to introduce you to her and our office and everything like that. She just signed up. We hired her just about a month and a half ago, I think. She joined our crew here, and I'm going to welcome her. We're going to have her tell you about herself and what she's doing to learn about helping people with their health insurance needs. She's actually going to be on the front line, helping people with regards to answering calls and sitting down one-on-one to talk about your health insurance needs. So it's like, hey, somebody that needs to know, hey, I'm new to town, or maybe I want to make some changes. I'm looking, or maybe you just lost your job. She'll be sitting down with you, talking to you about, what are your needs? What is your income level? What kind of stuff do you qualify for? What programs might fit you best? What health insurance fits you best? And something kind of unique about Aubriana, we'll talk about later, is she just had a baby. And so she's a new mom. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Something I don't talk about on the show very often too is, I have 6 kids, and it's like stressful having family. So we're talking about that in the segment too as well. And I want to talk about what's going on. We'll talk about Aubriana. In this segment a little bit today, we're going to talk about some of the changes coming to health insurance. The first part of the segment, I want to talk a little about what's happening to people that are under 65. And then I want to talk a little bit more about people that are over 65 and on Medicare, and all those people that are also under 65, but maybe on disabled, maybe on Medicare, Medicaid, things like that, what we're doing for them this year. Because there's some big changes coming. I can't say a lot because we're still kind of in that pre-time frame, but I want to give some heads up about what to expect and kind of what to do. But let's talk about Aubriana. Tell us about yourself, where you come from, your background, things like that. Just share with the audience.
Well, of course, like I said, my name's Aubriana. Thank you for pronouncing it right. I'm 23. I did just have my first kid. Yay to me. She's a gorgeous little doll. Love her to bits. I wish she was here so she can drive me crazy. I'm born in Riverside, California. I've only been there for maybe a couple months to a year of my first stages of life. And then my mom she moved us to Las Vegas. I'm the youngest out of 5. So I have 2 older sisters and then 2 brothers, and then there's me. So I'm very well protected and loved. I got to be spoiled. I also got to be put in a shoebox when I was a baby. Yay. I don't really know anything about California. I can't talk about that. I can't talk about Vegas because I wasn't there that much. So from there, I immediately, maybe 2-3 years of my life, we came to Pahrump. And that's how I know everything about Pahrump. Pahrump is like my only life. Pahrump is where I went to every school. Let me tell you that. I went to every school out here. So from elementary, preschool, I did go to preschool. Middle school, the only one middle school, Rosemary Clark, the only one high school, Pahrump Valley High School. I'm not in college, but I am doing this now, so that's good. That's good. I automatically, from my first kid, I jump into having a career, right? Because I don't want a job, I want a career. That's where you come in.
Yeah, we're definitely working with you and give this long career. In the health insurance stuff, we do a lot with, it's going to be full time, or we help people out.
Yeah.
And you have license. You're getting a license right now.
I am.
Classes like that. You're pretty close to getting done with that.
I am.
What have you kind of learned
no pressure.
about? What have you kind of learned about health insurance, things like that? What kind of popped out at you different from your own experience in life?
Well, honestly, all the terms and the definitions, I would tell you that. I'm not going to go and embarrass myself or repeat anything, but from just everything, I didn't know that there's so many inner words in between, like Medicare, life insurance, whole life, this level insurance, just everything. I didn't know there was so much into it. I thought it was just basic Medicaid insurance, because that's what I have. I have Medicaid right now, so, and it helps a lot because, like I said, I just have my first kid, so I didn't know anything about it. I have my mom, I have my sisters and brothers that help me. They just, hey, go apply for this, or hey, I'm gonna get you this application. We're gonna get you set up. We're gonna get you your Medicaid insurance. So that way, if you have dental, because like I said, I told you personally that I wanted to be a dental hygienist. That's still in the rocky. It's still in the road. I still want to do that, but I'm glad that as far as Medicaid, because it helps me when I go in there, I see the little things that they do as far as just taking my information down, doing my x-rays, and then taking back from cleaning to if I never had braces, but if I need braces, they just help you with that stuff. And I'm glad because that's a lot of money. Just hearing how people talk about braces are like thousands of dollars and they have to come out of pocket. And that's one thing that's good about insurance. Like when you have insurance, they help you. Like I was just learning about how they do like usually they do like 80-20 co-insurance, how they will pay 80% and then you'll pay 20% out of pocket. And that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. So that's pretty something that I find that's very beneficial for people that didn't know anything about that. They can like instead of worrying about, oh, I have to pay $1,000 out of pocket. It's like, no, you don't. You know, if you just find out how much you're making as far as like how much you're making a year, your poverty level and stuff, and then you can easily just get insurance and it's great.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that.
A lot of our clients, they come to us, they don't really know much about what's going on. It's all this new
Yeah.
terminology. It's like, how do you what all these terms online? I find a lot of people, a lot of the government programs, it's like, go shop online, go do it
Yeah.
yourself. And it's like, you're like, kind of like, well, where am I starting? All these, this is
Right.
a foreign language you're reading. And it's like, that's our job is to, we're doing this education, learning all these terms so we can make it easier for you
Right.
to do with it. And a lot of times you mentioned you work with your family's one that's helped you out.
Yeah.
I find a lot of people, it's their friends and family that are helping them in
Yeah.
the situation. Hey, go talk to these guys. And it's like, they call Battleborn Financial and put our phone number back on the list there. Call Battleborn Financial Advisor here, and we can schedule appointments with you, either online or on the phone.
Which is
And
great.
And our job is to help you to make sure you know those terminologies and figure out how to do that, because it could be as simple as like, hey, maybe you qualify for programs where you very little out of pocket, like you mentioned, for like your prescriptions, for your doctor
Yes.
visits, even for all your dental work. Dental insurance is definitely a more difficult one.
Yeah, it is.
And we do have quite a few options. Open enrollment is coming up pretty soon. Reminder that they actually, just Nevada Health Inc. just recently announced that they're extending open enrollment this year. It's November 1st through January 15th. In the past, it's always been January 1st to December 15th, like a 6-week period. We have a little extra time for those people that are kind of always wait until the last minute or forget to do it during the holidays.
Which is mainly 80% of people.
Yeah, I think everybody does it crazy. But that January, but you still have those deadlines still. Between November and December 15th, we still need to get you in for the January 1st start date. So if you wait till after that, you're going to be stuck going for February. So we're still going to get you in before that time frame. We usually have rates and quoting and stuff around available in October. So between October and November is a time to really shop and get to know your plans. And I actually like to call our current clients that are renewing and saying, hey, this is what's changing, what's going on. And to call us even right before enrollment begins, because that's a great opportunity for us to give you the options and ideas, what's going on, and get to know what to expect for the new year, because you're not stuck thinking, having to commit to something you don't really want to commit to right away. You can be like, hey, I want to shop around, get to know it better. And we'll talk later too about Medicare as well. Medicare has a time frame between October 1st and October 15th, the same again shopping period. But the open enrollment window for Medicare opens October 15th and goes all the way through December 7th. So we have a little shorter time frame on Medicare, but we still have some little shopping period that in October for everybody to kind of be like, hey, let's talk to you about it. And Aubrielle, like she mentioned, learning those terminologies and stuff like that, deductibles, co-pays, co-insurance. We even do life insurance. You mentioned life insurance, like term life, whole life. How do you deal with that and trying to figure that out? Those are kind of questions we have, and I know you're something you're learning, and we're getting you on board. And trust me, when you say like, everybody's like, oh, the new girl, doesn't everything. Trust me, by the time Oprah comes along, she's gonna be like a firecracker. She'll be doing everything really great.
You never know, might be better than him. You never know.
That's what we're trying to do, is make her better than me.
That's goals.
So I mean, the goal is here, and I want to talk a bit too about your experience. Getting after our next break, I want to talk a bit more about your experience having a baby and stuff like that. But medical care here in town, that you growing up here, did you see a lot of doctors, things like that, or what was your experience here?
Honestly,
growing up here.
Honestly, I did not. Like I said, everything was honestly taken care of from my family. So with Medicaid, everything just it helped. It just helped because my mom, as far as my sister, she works at the coalition, so she's a huge help. So she's on top of everything. So she's like, Aubriana, you need to go up to there and you need to go apply for this. Aubriana, you need to go do this. I'm just like, okay, because she has my heart and interest. She's gonna help me out. So as far as like doctors, I never had like a primary care doctor. I don't have one, and I will get one because it's good to have one. I need to have one just for anything. I was
You have a primary care. You have your OBGYN that you went to
I
recently, right?
I do, I do. I need to get a little bit more familiar with that whole program and everything with that in general because I've only seen him just for the fact of me having my baby, and that again was from my sister. She immediately got me right on top of that. But it's like I should know all these things for myself just in case. What if I was in a whole nother state? I should know these things myself. I should have always had a primary care doctor. So I am seeing Dr. Norton. He is very new as far as helping me out, but he's been doing this for years and he makes me feel very comfortable. But I feel like I can learn a little bit more as far as what he can do for me, or do I need to switch to somebody else, or is it only going to be beneficial for me because of my baby, or is it, or do I have to travel to Vegas just to see him because he only comes out once a week? So, that's something that I can do a little bit more digging into myself because he's a really good guy, but I want to know, is there somebody else that can help me out?
We've been, it's funny. I got in business originally, like, having a primary care doctor. I hate the doctor. I don't like going very often.
Yeah.
It's irony. It's an irony because it's like I got into this business and started realizing that all the benefits, and it's like
Right.
and doing these interviews, I've honestly opened my eyes even more about just taking care of my body and myself a lot more. And it's tough because a lot of us, we just go along life and it's like, I don't need to see a doctor. I'm pretty healthy. What's going
Yeah.
on? And it's like, what, in health insurance, number one. And it's like, and as you get older, you start realizing, getting wiser. It's like, oh, wait a minute. I do need to take care of my health. I do need to see things like that. And it was actually what I do now is knowing that your health plan actually covers an annual physical at no cost. No
Wow.
matter what plan it is, as long as it's an ACA plan, actual
Mhm.
real health insurance, which we only sell real health insurance here.
By the way.
Is by the way, call our number 764-2252. But we also make sure that we make sure that you get your health insurance and you get an annual physical. And I always make sure every year around right before open enrollment, I'm like, I need to get myself taken care of.
Right.
I go in for my flu shot. I always make sure that I'm like, see my doctor, say just, hey, is everything okay? It might be a quick visit. It's a quick, hey, you're here and now, and just want to make sure you're okay and just check your body and stuff. But for me, it's been just knowing that, hey, at least I'm seeing a doctor because there's always things come up. And it's interesting, that relationship I built with my primary care doctor
Mm.
helped me. About a year ago, if you can't see it, I almost cut my finger off with some sheet metal.
Wow.
And it was that experience and having that primary care doctor, I was able to contact her and say, hey, things aren't going really well here. Went to the ER, got sewn up, and things weren't working out well. And that relationship helped. She's like, hey, Brian, you need to go back to the ER. You need to be admitted to the hospital. You're probably going to need to get some IV antibiotics, which she did. And she actually saved my finger, probably my life in a lot of ways. Think about it. And those are things that we help out going forward. We're going to take a little break. We're going to come back. I want to talk a bit more about the Medicare stuff and some of the changes, and we're going to talk more about Brianna. Thank you.
We will return with more Doc Talk after these messages. Welcome to Doc Talk with your host, Brent Leavitt. And Doc Talk with Brent is sponsored by Battleborn Financial.
Welcome back to DocTalk. Today we're actually talking about just health insurance a little bit more with our brand new employee, Aubriana Moss, who's actually a Pahrump native. She's born and raised here in Pahrump, and we're having a conversation with her about some of the changes, about healthcare in general. She growing up here, she got to see healthcare kind of growing up and realizing that different kind of programs. In fact, her sister works for the coalition. Her family members are all around here, and great things to do here in Pahrump. And we want to talk a little bit about health insurance. In this segment, I wanted to touch base a little bit about some of the upcoming changes that are coming to Pahrump, and to kind of get to knowing about them, stuff I can talk about right now. I know for a fact on the under 65 business, so people that are, if you just recently lost your job, especially right now with COVID stuff, and you're like, what do I do? If unemployment benefits are starting to decrease, and you're like, I can no longer afford Cobra. A lot of people come into that. There are other options with regards to Nevada HealthLink. I can say that we announced that Battleborn Financial actually just got awarded the grant again from Nevada HealthLink from the state to help people that are to make sure that we can grow our business and help people that are uninsured or underinsured to get insurance at affordable rates that you can afford. Then the tax credits and everything like that are wonderful. The great news is Nevada HealthLink, we mentioned earlier, Nevada HealthLink is expanding its open enrollment period from November all the way to January 15th. But we still have to enroll before December 15th if we want to get coverage on January. So don't wait and delay and call me
Heads
last
up.
minute. do that. Also, we have a couple new insurance companies that have entered the market. They know they for a fact officially they've submitted rates. Nothing's been approved yet, but we do have a couple new ones coming to town. So we have at least 2 new insurance carriers that are coming next year. So before our choices were always been Health Plan of Nevada, which has been a great, probably our biggest network in Pahrump. They utilize the Southwest Medical Associates network. They also use Intermountain Healthcare network, and then they also have quite a few private doctors, such as Dr. Hazlett, who's been on our show, and Renee Goodhart that are in the network, as well as Dr. Harding with P3. And we're actually doing an interview with P3 in a couple weeks as well, and we're also another interview with Intermountain Healthcare again here pretty soon. Wonderful doctors that we have available for Health Plan in Nevada. We also have Ambetter by Silver Summit Health Plan. Ambetter has been around for quite a while. They actually have a couple doctors here in town, such as we have Reflections Healthcare with Dr. Craig, and we also have Renee Goodhart is in that network, as well as Dr. Hazlett, and even Dr. Harding at P3 is also with that plan. And then we also have Anthem Pathway, which is not a Blue Cross Blue Shield network that people always think it is. So that's why it's great to work with a broker, because you're like, oh, I bought this plan because it sounded great. My doctor said they take Anthem, but they don't take this plan. And we don't want to get you stuck in a situation where it's like, oh, I'm in the wrong plan. Anthem's a great company. Unfortunately, we only have about 2 doctors here in town. Dr. Hazlett and Dr. Reiner are the 2 that are in the network with them, with Anthem right now currently. We don't have too many primary care, but they have quite a few specialists that come out here as well. And then we also have the 2 new carriers. I don't know if I can say their names, but we have Friday Health Plans and Select Health, and they're coming here. From what I know, their network's gonna be pretty good. I think Select Health, they're owned by Intermountain Healthcare. So I'm assuming we're probably going to see some mixture between them and also with the Intermountain Healthcare facility we have here in town, and some great doctor choices there. And then, so with those changes coming along, we don't know how rates are going to be or anything like that until October. Like I said, come in a little bit early, get to shop the plans a little bit. On the Medicare side of things, if you're going on Medicare plans, a lot of the stuff is staying the same, but we're seeing some plans getting enhanced. We might see some lower copays next year. We still have the same carriers we had before. I've always mentioned we have companies such as Humana, who has been a great HMO, probably the biggest one here in town. They only use Intermountain Healthcare as a lot of their primary care. We even have Dr. Hazlett, who we've had on the show here. He's an affiliate with them, who's actually affiliated with the Humana HMO. And Humana also offers PPOs. People don't know this, but they offer quite a few PPO options where you have more choice of doctors. You can see more people without referrals, and a lot of people like that. We actually get expanded network of doctors with the PPO. We also have access to, we have United Healthcare, Medicare Complete. And the cool thing about United Healthcare this year, starting in August, when this, you're going to find that if you're on United Healthcare, the Medicare Complete, the Walgreens Plan 1 or Plan 2, you'll actually be able to also access doctors over Intermountain Healthcare starting August 1st. So before it was only strictly associated with Optum, which is the Southwest Medical Associates here. So now you have access to those doctors over at Intermountain Healthcare now as of August 1st. Now, if you're on the Medicare Focus plan, you're still tied into that only network with Optum network is all you're tied into. So that's not going to change with the Focus plan. Open enrollment, you have a chance to look into those again if you want to make any changes. We also have 4 other carriers as well this year. We also have Aetna, who offers HMOs and PPOs. And they utilize that P3 network as well. And then we have Select Health, who also uses the P3 network here in town. We've had Spring Mountain Medical in here, and we have Dr. Harding in that network. And then we also have Senior Care Plus. Senior Care Plus is the first kind of the new plan to get in Pahrump that happened a couple of years ago. They're based out of Reno, nonprofit. They also use the P3 network. And then we also have Allwell. Allwell comes to us. They're actually they're the sister company to Ambetter, and they're a big Fortune 100 company. They've been out for a long time. This is their first year in Pahrump as well, and they're offering also that P3 network. Next year, I think they're going to expand and have a little bit separate network as well. So those are kind of big changes coming to Pahrump next year. We're going to be doing hopefully some more seminars and marketing online. So you'll see us on our website, battlebornfinancialadvisor.com. And if you're on Facebook, you're going to see us a lot more on Facebook, I think, pumping up and trying to get people free appointments with us, and make sure you utilize our programs. A lot of times sometimes you don't like dealing with people. And I get that, especially during COVID stuff. We do have access to online meetings. We use team meetings where you can actually talk to us virtually if you want to see us. We want to share your screen with you. So it's just like we're in person. Or if you like to talk on the phone, we love talking on the phone too. We'll chat with you a little bit and get to know you better. A lot of stuff's virtual. And a lot of times, if you just want to say, Brent, I want to buy this plan, you know what? You can sign up online using our website. We're going to put links and things like that on there. So you can actually sign yourself up if you want to. But utilize us because we're an extra resource. We're a free resource. It doesn't cost any more to use us. And we're able to help you coordinate your care with your doctors and stuff like that, and make sure it's like, hey, I have an instance right now, a client that's going through some treatment right now. Actually, I have two right now that are getting some treatments done. They've had issues with prior authorizations, getting their doctors and the insurance to marry up and say, hey, we're going to approve it. One thing that we provide is these both my clients have said, Brent, hey, this is really frustrating me. I really hate this. I'm frustrating my insurance right now because they're not getting authorization done. I can't per se, I can't say, hey, I'm going to make this happen. But what I've been able to do is I have connections with these insurance companies to say, hey, one of my members is having problems. Can you please help them in getting this done? And we've actually had teams assigned to them at the insurance company that are actually following up on their cases and taking care of them. Had this member not reached out to us or had a broker in the first place, they would be on their own in dealing with these situations. And I don't think they'd have that case manager on them like that. We're able to help get those case managers and making sure that they're sticking with them and getting these things and holding their hands, make sure that things can happen. A lot of the insurance companies, they don't know what's going on. Their corporate offices, computer programs, they're just saying, do this, X, Y, Z. Okay, we approve or disapprove. But having the broker to work with you, number one, we're going to make sure you get the right plan the right time. Instead of getting the wrong plan and being like, oh, my doctor doesn't take it after all. I thought they did. We're going to make sure that doesn't happen, hopefully. Not to say we're not perfect and things happen with doctors and contracts, but at least we can make sure get rid of that confusion, what's happening.
Right.
And then hopefully get you in the right direction. A lot of times, and then after the sale, it's not just say, hey, you got the insurance, have a good life, we'll never talk to you again until open enrollment. We're here after the time and say, hey, I need some help or I need to make some changes. What's going on with Nevada Health Link? I changed my address, I need to update some other stuff. How do I do that? And we're kind of like your quarterback to say, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to go there, you do this, and what you need to happen. So that's kind of the goal of a broker and what we're doing at Battleborn Financial. And this year we talk about health insurance a lot too. I'm going to talk about more as well. We also do, in the healthcare side is financial. It's a lot of financial needs. We talked about earlier with Aubriana, you mentioned, hey, like dealing with costs and dealing with those things, like, hey, they want to pay insurance 80%. It can be a big financial burden, number one, to pay for health insurance.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Number two, to have to deal with, then you have to not only pay for health insurance, you have to pay for medical care. And I'm actually a certified financial planner. And I actually help people with their finances and stuff like that too. And then even if you go to our website, you can book some financial planning meetings. It's whether it's like, hey, I want to get out of debt. I want to be able to, maybe I'm dealing with trying to plan for my retirement. How do I pay for medical care in retirement? There's some planning things you can do to help make it so the shock isn't as big. A lot of times people come to me, they've said, oh, I've got my other financial advisor when I came out here and they've set me up on this. And that financial advisor didn't have a clue about healthcare. And what happens is when that came along and they started taking distributions out, they end up kind of making it so healthcare actually costs them more money. And it's like, if they talked to me first or gotten that idea, it's like I could have helped them a little bit more in understanding the healthcare needs and how to make it so they can afford their premiums a little bit more. So with that being said, I want to talk, I'm kind of taking up a lot of time with speaking of this thing as well. A lot of information and boom, that's going on here. But Aubriana, what kind of stuff do you want to talk about? What kind of stuff are you seeing or experience you've had with your own healthcare stuff like that?
So I never really been too big on going to doctors, like how you mentioned too. So like I'm still there's a lot for me to still learn. I'm still just going underneath your wing, listening to everything you're saying. And there's still like terms and everything. So but I just noticed that there's a lot of people that, and just in prep in general, I feel like now that we're getting bigger and a lot of people are moving out here more, I feel like there's a lot, especially young ones, they don't really know anything about insurance. They don't know anything about Medicare. They don't Medicaid, just anything. So I feel like this is going to help not even the young ones, but the older people too, I should say, because these things are expensive. And especially if you're just now, maybe you're 18 and you're just now going out and about with your own wings. You're spreading your wings and you don't know how you're going to pay for this stuff. Or maybe you get into some type of accident, you break something. You never know. What, you're going to do it yourself? No, you got to go to a doctor. So this is very good for people to really understand and try to maybe just get the knowledge. I say just get the knowledge about everything that you're talking about. But I do want to ask you, because you did mention something earlier about what happens before 65 and what happens after age 65. You want to go a little bit into that? Because that actually sounds good. I was reading something about that on my website. So
as we know, so that's a good question. So a lot of people realize that we look at Medicare, Social Security, we got to think those are all the same. But what happens, if you work enough hours here in the United States, you will qualify at the age of 65. You qualify for the government health insurance program called Medicare, which is for people that are over 65 or that are disabled. and people with end-stage renal disease, which is kidney failure kind of stuff going
Yeah.
on. They'll qualify for Medicare. And what Medicare does is it's a federal program. And when you turn 65, all you have to do to sign up for it is you go to Medicare.gov, and you can actually sign up for Medicare 3 months before your birthday, the month of, and 3 months after your 65th birthday. You can sign up for Medicare's Part A and B. And then if you are over, and then also if you're getting Social Security benefits already, they will automatically enroll you into Medicare as well when you turn 65. A lot of people confuse the fact that, hey, I don't want to get my Social Security till I'm full retirement age, which is like 66 and some time right now.
Yeah.
They still qualify for Medicare at 65,
Automatically.
even though your Social Security is at 66. But you have to manually sign up for Medicare at that point. Now there is a cost to Medicare. There's a Part B, does have a small cost to it.
Yeah.
Part A, for most people that have worked enough credits in the United States, don't have to pay a premium for, but Part B does have a cost. The standard cost for it this year is about $144.60 a month, and you do have to pay that if you're not signed up for the Social Security benefits already. But if you are, it comes out automatically your Social Security check. So good question there. Our time is up a little bit today. There's so much we want to talk about, and I really feel like we did a lot today. But
Yes.
thanks so much, Aubriana, for coming, and we
Thank
look
you.
forward to having you on our team in this open enrollment season. I want you guys to reach out and book an appointment with me or with Aubriana. I also have Shelly in my office too, and then Jody. Work with us this year. Go on our website, call our office. Love to meet with you. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you next week.